This news update is brought to you by This is the 6 p.m. Barbados Today update for Friday, September 19th, 2014. I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. We begin with a vow from government to crack down on child labour. In fact, Labour Minister Senator Dr Esther Byer-Suckoo told the closing ceremony of a three-day meeting of Inter-American Labour Ministers at the Hilton Barbados Resort that the country is looking to begin collecting data to determine the extent of the problem. She says attention will also be given to the informal sector to ensure that those workers are protected.
We know the informal sector is going to have to absorb a lot of our unemployed persons, but we want to make sure that they're guaranteed a space for decent work, that they have social protection and so on, even in that sector. So we are also working there.
In other news, Cyprian Payne, the young man who was shot multiple times in the wee hours of this morning, remains in critical condition at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Police Public Relations Officer Inspector David Welch says Payne is scheduled to undergo a second surgery this evening. He was shot about 3 this morning while at his girlfriend's house in Happy Court Bank Hall, St. Michael. His girlfriend's mother, Sonia Paris Headley, recounted that someone shouted that her house was on fire and she and Payne went to get water to help extinguish the blaze, and he was shot.
He went to the gallery to out the fire, and when I get coming back from down by my bedroom area, that is when I hear a shot fire. And I hear someone holler for Kimar. I started to scream because I thought it was my son that was shot. Only to my knowing, when I get now to the side door, I saw it was my son-in-law that was being shot and lying on the ground.
The flood warning for Barbados has been discontinued, but Met officials are urging Barbadians to remain on alert.
We are still expecting that you will continue to see some occasional showers from time to time. Now, presently conditions are somewhat unstable, and we do expect this instability to persist through at least into the first part of the weekend. Now, there is another tropical wave which we are expecting late tomorrow into Sunday. So even though we will see some slight improvement into the first part of tomorrow, we are expecting that wave will move in late tomorrow into Sunday, when you are likely to see a few more showers.
Heavy rains associated with a tropical wave have been drenching the island for the past few hours, with several communities experiencing flash flooding. Meantime, power has been restored to a number of communities across the island. The inclement weather had resulted in outages in communities in St. George, St. James, St. Thomas, St. Lucie and Christchurch. But the Barbados Light and Power Company says crews were able to restore power to all the affected areas.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Welcome back. The head of the region's public health body warns governments to apply an abundance of caution before taking any decision to legalize or decriminalize marijuana. Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. James Hospitalis, says any attempt to legalize cannabis must take into consideration the significant adverse effects which smoking the drug have on health and social occupational functioning. In his contribution to a panel discussion on decriminalization and legalization of marijuana, Dr. Hospitalis says the impact the drug has on young people must be of particular concern. He cited recent evidence that identified only synthetic benefits of the drug.
I stress synthetic cannabinoids are not smoked marijuana, which actually delivers far more tar to your lungs than tobacco. There were negative findings. There was no clinical impact on treating dementia or motor neuron disease. And we found knowledge gaps on several fronts where there needs to be more research in regard to treatment of asthma, as an appetite stimulant for cystic fibrosis, as an appetite stimulant for the anorexia induced by HIV and AIDS, for glaucoma, and for epilepsy.
And on the international scene, 8 people from an Ebola health team were killed today in southeastern Guinea. The workers, who were traveling to raise awareness about the spread of the deadly disease, were attacked by residents in the small town of Womi. According to reports, the villagers threw stones at the team, which included healthcare workers and local journalists. Only one of the workers was found alive, hiding in a nearby town. 6 people have been arrested in connection with the incident. And on that note, we come to an end to this week's updates. We'll be back again at 7 on Monday morning. But you don't have to wait until then to get the latest news and sports. You can log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and our email updates, and of course like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media, in bus terminals, or on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. I'm Dawn Paris. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. And don't forget, join us again on Monday morning at 7.
This news update is brought to you by